Hello there, Testing123. There's the camera in this thing.
And I forgot to plug in my mic, and there's a headphone on the floor. So, are we recording? Yes, we are. Welcome to test number 55. This is since forever. Finally, another episode of Testing123, and let me choose camera 1. That's that one. Testing123 is a show. Well, show is a bit too much, but it's a recording that where I'm basically testing whatever I'm working on, which right now is VidBlaster X. And I hope I'm a bit in focus, by the way. I forgot to check focus on that camera. Where I'm testing the software I'm working on. So that's VidBlaster X right now. And the best way to test is just to use it. Now, I'm not a presenter. I'm certainly not a showman. I'm not really a talker, especially if it's in another language than my native language. So don't expect anything from this other than a bunch of geek stuff and maybe some useful information on a rare occasion. It's purely testing. That's probably why I called it Testing123. Now, it's been a while since I did an episode of this show, because I tend to prefer coding over recording anything. Actually, I did want to show you a couple of things I worked on, and just to make that brief, I introduced a new format which I called 1 minute, and I should be able to show you the video clip of 1 minute, but I didn't prep that, and it's probably not even on this system. No, it isn't. So I have to do that another time. Anyway, 1 minute, as the name says, is about 1 minute long, and just show you a feature. If you want to see it, best go to the Facebook page for VidBlaster X. Testing123 on the other end is unlimited. I think I've done shows of 45 minutes, which were very boring, and there's TV still on there. And I don't think anyone watched it, so be warned. So back to the test. VidBlaster X. Got about 35% CPU. I've got clear program video. I got no audio spikes. Recording video is okay. Jitter is within limits. And I'm doing 1, 2, 3 cameras. I have 2 player modules, and I'm doing screen. Oh, I can show you screen capture. This is actually the screen. Excuse me. So, not sure how well that worked. Something I haven't tested actually, but. VidBlaster X. Now, if you haven't been following my Facebook page, you'll probably be a little bit surprised to hear about the X. And actually, just to create a long recording and to have something to say, I figured, I'm not wireless, I figured it will be good to tell you the difference between VidBlaster and VidBlaster X. And we're going to do that on that couch, which is camera 3. Okay, let's get comfy. So, if you're watching the show, you probably know what VidBlaster is. VidBlaster is something I started working on about 8 years ago. Originally, it came out of the ashes of VidBlaster, which was an audio production tool. And when podcasting took off, vlogging took off as well, and you needed video recording software for that. So I thought, what if I make a VidBlaster for video? And in fact, I called it VidBlaster Video. I tried selling that like I did with VidBlaster to Podshow, but I never quite understood why, but it didn't really work. Maybe because they already had their own plans or whatever, maybe they just didn't like the program. I really can't remember what that looked like, but it was nothing like what I'm using now. I think the resolution was limited to 320 by 240. So that soon turned into VidBlaster. And after many iterations, VidBlaster became very successful. And I actually made quite some money with that. And about 2 years ago, I decided I needed to go back to my original idea of VidBlaster, which was, I like to make a challenge for myself, which was, I think VidBlaster would be cool for television stations. Local, regional, maybe national. Now, I never got to do that because video streaming became very popular, and I sort of focused my attention on that. And like I said, that went very well, but it never really was what I wanted to do because I like a challenge, and video streaming, well, there are plenty of software that can do that. It's not really challenging. So, as I said, about 2 years ago, I thought I needed to go back to my original idea. I could afford it. I didn't have to work directly for money. I could really take the time to work on something new. That's when I started working on VidBlaster X. And those who have been very mindful of what I'm doing could have seen the name pop up now and then. Now, I've done a lot of research what that program would look like. I even built a Mac version of it, but it turned out Macs aren't really that good as they're claimed to be, especially not for live video. And it really didn't make much sense to make a program that at least isn't better compared to a video program running on Windows, and at the same time is much more expensive because Mac software is much more expensive. So I canceled that project. I tried some other stuff, and I finally got to where I am now, which is VidBlaster X. it's version 5. There has been a VidBlaster X version 4, or in fact there still is, but that's the same as VidBlaster version 4. The only difference is the licensing model. VidBlaster X5 is really the program I've always wanted to make. And its target audience is television stations, from small to big. And but having learned how many people are very happy with VidBlaster, I also wanted to keep them in mind. So a couple of things changed. I changed the pricing of VidBlaster. VidBlaster X you can get for $99 per year. It's a subscription model. Subscriptions are more fair, I feel, because if you're using the software, you can pay a little bit for it. I mean, $99 per year isn't that much for software that does a lot and actually for many people means making money. It's more expensive if you're a big corporation and you want my personal support, obviously, but they make so much money that $999 is still very cheap. I try to keep the software still easy to use, like VidBlaster, and combine that with the low yearly price. I hope it'll be more affordable to people outside Western Europe and the US. I'm thinking about Asia, Africa, South America, and indeed many are now using VidBlaster X there, which is very cool, because I certainly want to make this software available to as many people as possible. So that's one side of the coin. The other side is I also want to make it very professional. In fact, I regularly mention on my writings on the Facebook page, it should be broadcast spec, which for one thing means no more missing frames, which is something that can quite easily happen on a Windows PC. So it's very hard to write software that ensures there are no missing frames. And in fact, I've written a lot of diagnostics. Let me walk to so I see I lost some frames on the screen capture. I need to work on the screen capture module, but other than that, I didn't lose any frames. So where was I? Camera 3? Yeah. And of course, for broadcast spec, you need to support full HD, which is also kind of a challenge. So I've rewritten a lot of VidBlaster. The entire core has been rewritten, and many of the timing, how that works, has been rewritten. I developed SyncLock, which is a proprietary technology, and it's sort of, I call it a poor man's Genlock. Genlock is well known in the broadcast world. It ensures that all cameras are synchronized, and if you switch between cameras, no weird things happen. It also obviously ensures no frames are doubled or missed, because everything is in sync. I think it comes from Generator Lock. Now, it's actually quite easy to write software that supports that. The thing is, short of the really professional studios, you're likely not to have cameras that support Genlock. In fact, I have the Blackmagic Studio camera, and I'm not even sure if that supports it. It might very well, but I have other cameras like Sony camcorders and JVC, and I even use a webcam now and then, and they certainly do not support Genlock. However, if you use VidBlaster X5 with SyncLock, sort of emulates what it is to have Genlock. There are indicators on screen, so the technical can see what the program does and actually if sync lock is achieved. But the end user can forget that all and just believe or trust on the fact that if the program says so, sync lock has been achieved and you get the same benefit. So you do not get weird things when switching between cameras, you do not get missing frames or double frames. And that results in a perfect stream, or in this case recording. And if you want, you can even verify that by looking at the diagnostics. So it still looks good. I'm looking at the screen right now. I can read the diagnostics and I pretty much know what the software is doing and how the hardware is doing. And the hardware is actually very relaxed. Talking about the hardware, talking about what I'm using now, this is full HD, so if you're not watching this in full HD, you definitely should. It's also free of any hiccups, and you can examine all you like. I can guarantee there are no hiccups in this recording because I can see it in the diagnostics. The thing is that if you're really good at spotting them, you can't watch this on a PC because a PC will not have a synchronized monitor. In fact, I can no longer judge the quality of my recordings on any of my PCs because all my monitors are at 60 Hertz. And being in Europe, this is 25 or 50 Hertz. So I actually have, I can't show that, I don't have a camera for that. I actually have a closet there with a normal television screen and one of those tiny video players. And I play my videos in there now and then just to verify that indeed it looks absolutely perfect. Which is, well, I want to say which is normal for broadcasting, for television, but these days if you watch television, even they have issues, especially if they show stuff from Skype or YouTube. So the hardware is, I always buy an average PC, which is best price, best performance price ratio. So this has an Intel i7 5820, which when I bought this system 1-2 years ago was pretty new. But right now it's the budget processor. It's a really good processor for a very good price. And it's probably around $1,000, 1,000 euros. So nothing special. The rack may seem impressive, but it just has a normal PC. It was a little bit more expensive, but that's because I have a rack casing. So a very ordinary PC, nothing special. I got 3 Blackmagic Studio cameras, which run 25 frames per second in full HD, so this is 1080p. I've got a screen capture running, again in full HD, the entire monitor is being captured. I'm recording this somewhat compressed, so I've got a compressor running. Again in 1080p, and it's going through a switcher. I just use a single bus right now. So that's actually something, because if memory serves, the last test I did, 54, was 512 by 288. I think that's all that machine did. A lot has happened in whatever time has gone by since my last show. So full HD, I've got multiple buses. I got no missing frames, no double frames. There's no loss in the signal path. There has never been. VidBlaster is one of the few programs that does not compress its data. So every pixel that goes in will go out. The only compression, if any, is happening in the camera, in the capture card, whatever you use, and possibly when you're recording, and certainly when I'm going to upload this. So there will be some compression, obviously, when I upload it to Vimeo. So that's VidBlaster X5. It's an alpha. I will be releasing the alpha version shortly to a selected few. The final release version is still a long way away. Oh yeah, that's also because I'm changing all the modules. So let me go back to the screen, because did I mention VidBlaster? Okay, so VidBlaster X is subscription model. I think I already told you that. So let me wires. Let me go back to camera 2. No, camera 1. So here is, so this is VidBlaster X5, and you'll probably notice some differences. It's no longer locked to specific module sizes. You can just drag them to any size. It's no longer with fixed controls. You can hide all controls. In fact, later on you'll be able to change the skin. I like the clean look, so I don't like all the buttons and stuff, so I've removed all of them and just sort of use a multi-view idea. But I'll show that. I hope to be showing you that in the months to come, if I can get myself to do another recording, and if I don't get burned when uploading this. The module can be dragged to any size, so it's not in steps like the display size we used to know in VidBlaster. Modules are magnetic, so it's easier to position them. Frankly, I don't know exactly what has changed, because just about everything has changed, so I'll probably forget a lot. Oh yeah, switcher. I'll do a separate episode about the switcher. A couple of people very interested how that will work. I'm still not entirely sure how it will work, but it's a lot more powerful. The idea, if you want to make software that can be used by professional broadcasters, you gotta have multiple buses. So in VidBlaster you could already direct the camera to an output and to a switcher and take a recording from the program bus, and this is far more powerful. You can set up multiple buses, you can set up multiple stream switch, you can use multiple switches, and so basically you can create a lot of vision mixes in VidBlaster X. Of course, the program needs to be very efficient to be able to run all that video data uncompressed. So a lot of challenges have needed fixing and still need fixing. And because all the modules have a different design, I have to rewrite every module. I have to rewrite the video engine. I have to rewrite the UI, user interface. It has a new skin. You have to be able to remove all the controls, so I'll have to show that in a later episode. So what else? What else? I thought there was something else I wanted to say, but oh yeah, we're foregoing with effect modules and overlay modules. that's also going to change. It's going to be incorporated in video switcher. I also have to talk about that some other time. Right now I just want to switch cameras and see how the recording looks and if anything strange has happened. Oh, one other thing. I think I'm in lip sync, but I haven't looked very carefully at it. The latency, the audio latency or audio correction, is 0. Which may seem odd because you usually have to delay the audio a bit because the video is late. Part of rewriting the video engine of VidBlaster X is that it's now much faster. So video frame takes less time from a camera through the capture card, hardware, VidBlaster's camera module, through the bus, the switcher, program bus in this case, to the recorder. In fact, that's now so fast that it arrives in time with the audio, which most of you will probably recognize as being pretty fast because audio is usually not much delayed. So should probably be just right. 26 minutes, okay. I think we'll leave it for that. If this works out well and more than one people, well, more than two, my wife and my son have watched the video, I'll make another one. Okay, thanks for watching. I'll end with the, I didn't mention that, I end with the new Testing123 bumper, which my son made. And that goes like this.
Hello there, Testing123. Where's the camera in this thing?